Hello, Teresa Phelps Martin here with the energetic signature for the week of July 7th to the 14th. All of this is here to guide you and give you insight so you can be real, be true, and be soulfully you. Being soulful is that idea of bringing together the body, the mind, the heart, and soul. So the horizon of that ability of what we manifest and experience in this mundane world, our physical being, and also this energy of going into the depths of ourselves and rising up into the higher energy to go inward and connect and cultivate and step up and outward to offer into the world and our higher self. Okay, July 7th to July 14th, we have the movement from the first quarter moon into a full moon. It's so beautiful how this lines up. Why the moon? The moon is a natural keeper of time, if you will. Every month is considered a cycle that's relatable to the moon. As a matter of fact, when Cleopatra had her astrologers and Caesar learned about it, guess what he did? He created the Roman Empire and changed the calendar. So I'm not going into history like that, but just know a long time ago, this is how everyone and everything lived. Okay. Know that what I'm offering you is a way to connect to the cosmos, connect so that you can align more deeply, to be prepared and know how to engage in the week. So because we're in this first quarter to full moon energy, this is where we start to get heated up. This is where we start to feel things activated. The moon will go from Libra to Scorpio to Sagittarius through Capricorn, and by the 14th, it'll jump into Aquarius or transition. Okay. And so what that means is that there's this kind of idea of our truth. The way I like is like, what's our rapport? What's our rapport with our inner world and our outer world? How can we be vulnerable and intimate and feel how we're co-creating with our resources? So we keep so much of ourselves hidden. But once we uncover what is hidden and we have intimacy, right? We're in relationship with other people and we get that connection and we understand our lives. By being in relationship, we discover more of a truth of the big love of our hearts. And then we can really embody this wisdom. To me, that's the journey of the next few weeks. The theme for this month is soul love, is coming home and really appreciating yourself, all of yourself, looking at what your needs are. Are you taking care of yourself? Where are you in the journey? It does not mean everything's groovy and grand, okay? It means that you're showing up and breathing life into the darkness, offering compassion to the areas where you feel most challenged, and being tender and vulnerable with yourself so that you can go in and really then rise up with the clarity of what it is you need to be able to stand in your light, to just trigger joy, to bring more into the world. And this is what we go for, okay? And the idea of the work that I do is to go inward and connect to those parts that appear hidden to us because we don't usually give the time to tap into them. Okay, so soul love requires a caring home. This is your physical structure. We need to tend to it. We need to nourish it. What are you ingesting? What are you putting into your body? Scorpio energy is really digestive. And it gets into that, like, we have digested the energy. So what are we going to create with it? What are we going to produce? What are we going to co-create in our lives? Right? So you want to connect to your inner world. And yes, I have it all written out. So I want to be smart and brief. We want to know that we belong. This is really key right now. You belong. You deserve to be here. You are allowed to survive and thrive, to have your needs met. It's just really mysterious how we get there, and so much is changing. There's so much transition. There's so much tension. because we're here at a time when the cosmos are really pushing us forward in a marvelous way, right? The stars are going to always shine for you, but they're pushing us forward in a way that's causing a lot of discomfort. And honestly, that's not, I'm not talking about people's zodiac sign, but that's the flavor of Scorpio, is to create that intensity and that passion, to create a little turmoil, to rock the boat, if you will, to get more intimate and invest in our lives, our whole self, okay? I'm passionate right now. Okay, so when we know we belong, we also want to know that we deserve to live with the beauty, grace, and abundance that's in life. So if you're not already, take the time this week to just acknowledge what is abundant, right? The heat is abundant where I am. The humidity is abundant where I am. So there's a saying, too much of a good thing, right? So acknowledging the abundance, and how can I balance it? Well, I water myself, I water my plants, I fertilize, I eat nutritious, I go for walks, I'm trying to be active in the way that I can be. And that pause is because there can be a big contraction, right? My ability to move and engage in my life and the way I've always known how to is not, it's like 20% accessible right now. And that's hard, and that's a big change. So you can look at the abundance of hardships, but what I would rather you do is be compassionate towards the hardship, okay? There is, we want to create a deeper felt connection to the abundance of our true self. Okay, so we want to connect to that deeper abundance within ourselves. We want to see that connection. The sun will sextile Uranus, and in that energy, we want to feel that ability not to be cut open, but we are being broken open on some level. But we're being rattled and broken open so we can actually connect more to this, not so much be in a battle and run away from death, but really run towards life, right? To really be in that. And that means we have to take on all the different things. But our true self is here to come alive. Our soul has a promise. We have this energy to bring forward so we can tune in. We all have a light, a gift, a talent that only we can share. So you might show up because you like hearing this narration. You're curious about the cosmos, but there's just something that really resonates, and so you keep coming back. And I thank you. I appreciate it. Because if I don't have anybody to talk to, I'll just be talking to myself and my dear Prosper here. And my walls and my plants and my dogs and my kids, whoever will listen. But I appreciate you. So there's something here. So you want to know what your gift is, right? I have learned based on my chart to really kind of stay with that energy of I can give words and a language and an articulation that keeps you curious, that keeps me curious, that helps this connection to what is mysterious, what is unseen, what is hard to connect to. And then I've been given the gift to teach it, to share it, to bring it forward, to narrate it and tell the story. You want to know what your gift is. We all have one. We're all have a natural talent that we want to bring forward. And the only way we can break ground and activate the connection to this gift is if we can remember we're not alone. This is so important. Remember this idea of belonging. You're not alone. You are not alone. There is so much more at work than what you can see. And this is big. This is really big, the energy this week. Soul Love gives us access to our intuition, and this will radically shift the way we exist in our hearts and in our lives. So if you're willing to come home to yourself, just even a baby step, this is really, let's break ground in these new ways of connecting to this inner world, and breaking ground into these new ways is just by showing up for it, right? Maybe you schedule a session, maybe you call your therapist, maybe you have this hunch that you need to call a friend. You don't deny that energy. You actually feel into it and articulate it. Okay, because this is your intuition, and this is what soul love does. When we embrace, remember, soul love is embracing, wrapping your arms around, nurturing, cradling the body, the mind, the heart, and soul. That is soul love. And this will give us access to our intuition. So if you get that nudge to do something, follow it. It's not about it being exactly what you thought the outcome was. It's about creating and cultivating this relationship to your inner self and being guided from the inside out. This might require some healing because we all came into this world with these wounds of our soul, right? These parts, one could say this is why people label us as sinners. We come in hurt. And this is why we incarnate and we individuate, is to discover and to evolve and to grow. Okay, so the moon's gonna move into fullness. And this movement into fullness can be the reminder, okay? The moon's gonna move into fullness, and it's gonna be this reminder that the stars are on our side, that they shine for us and are guiding us forward. It's evidence that we're not alone. The moon is evidence. It might play a little game of hide and seek, but that's the dance of life. That's the great divine pulse of night and day. This divine feminine, divine masculine, hot, cold, tall, short, good, bad, all these dualities that create the oneness. Okay, so big energies is that Venus is in Gemini, and that's how we connect. So if you have this need to be social, this need to connect with people, to reprioritize your connection to kind of the bigger picture, and you value curiosity, enjoy that. And there's this little nudge of we're going to make it easy on you. You're going to be able to see a lot of the world and how the world around you, beyond you, to the universe, all these things are really encouraging a restructuring, a rebuilding, a new reality, literally, that is futuristic. So we have to kind of get caught up in our future self and ask her or him what it is we need to do to heal right now and care for ourselves. So if we can connect to the relationships that keep you curious about the bigger picture, how are you articulating the divine feminine and divine masculine in your everyday life? Communicate with your future self and allow soul space to revisit your vision and give structure, revisit those hopes and dreams. Maybe this just means you go back to your intention or your resolution you made for the new year of 2022. All right. Emotions are the currency of the soul, right? So if I was teaching a class right now, we would really feel a lot of side body movement. We would be very undulating of the spine from side to side, rhythmic, dancey, flowy, fluid. So we could get more into this rhythm so we can allow those emotions to move and evolve. And it puts us in kind of this diva-ish state. And I always go straight into two of my teachers of Sienna Sherman and Shiva Ray. Okay? So when you give these emotions, if you get into that feeling of it, that movie, lots of side body, hips, circling, can you see in my movement? It doesn't really stop. You just move with the breath and you stay with that movement. And the movement piece, you want to get into the rhythm of your breath, just even inhale, even exhale, where the breath is bathing over you. And you're just curious, but you feel this momentum. A real key part of this is that we're fluid and we're in this undercurrent of water and change and compassion. So it's not about going for big and crazy poses, but we do feel the undercurrents building. If you've ever been, I can't do it, so that's why I'm not teaching right now, where you can kind of circle your chest. How about we do just something that's easy? You circle your chest from side to side, and then you find yourself standing, and how can you add this movement? And then you're in Warrior 2. How could you add a fluid nature of the arms? And then you go into Warrior 1, and you feel yourself not steady and still, but you feel the victory of rising up and bowing back down, right? So those are just ideas, but you're starting to, you feel the waters charging up. Scorpio energy is a waterfall. It starts to pound and smooth out the surface, all right? So when we do this, we discover pathways to connect with the gifts that allow our unique nature to be seen. Okay, so each of us, right? I almost skipped over, and that's really important. When the moon is moving into this full expression of the sun is over here and Cancer, and the moon, the moon is 180 degrees away as far as it can possibly be. A circle is 360 degrees, so the furthest point is 180, and that's what creates the full moon. It's science, but it's magic, right? It's this dance of this rhythm of, oh, that's right. When I'm courageous enough and compassionate with myself, and I can go in and I can embrace my whole self, what happens is I can stand fully in the light, right? The whole idea is samadhi, is enlightenment in the path of yoga. To me, what that is to be able to stand in our light. I'm not trying to transcend this mundane, real, earthly experience, but rather embody it. I'll tell you right now, it has not been an easy journey. And I ask for grace, and I ask for softness, and I tread gently. And when we have those moments of clarity, we are standing in that light. And how do we embody it? How do we physicalize it? Choices, actions, behaviors, right? It's the idea of standing on the podium and having integrity and follow through. And that's the idea of the Capricorn moon. So each Capricorn full moon, right? Because we discover pathways to connect with the gifts that allow our unique nature to be seen. You're here to be seen. You're not here, even if you are a Cancer sun, moon, or rising. We're not here just to stay hidden. And I say we, because I have a Cancer moon. We're not here just to remain hidden, but we're here to come alive. We're here to bring our soul to life. So each of us have a body, mind, and soul. That's kind of key ingredients, right? Skin, bones, heart, blood. It all comes together. And when it all comes together, it takes shape and form as you. And when we come home to our whole self and take deep, healing, compassionate care of ourselves, then we can stand in our light fully embodied, celebrating this invitation that life provides to bring our soul to life. This is this lunation in such a profound way. Okay, and Venus is going to square Neptune at the end of the week of this, like close to the 14th. Yep, on the 14th, the moon will be in Aquarius. When that full moon is, I really encourage you to offer gratitude of what it has been transformed and what is coming together. So with Venus square Neptune by the end of the week is this invitation that what came through to me. It was like this sweet, like I always think of Neptune as the fairy godmother. I know, it's make believe, but so is Neptune, the energy that Neptune creates. It takes the unseen and allows it to be seen, right? So it's our imagination, it's how we dream, it's how we see the wholeness and all of it. And so it's this voice of like, slow down, sweetie, slow down. I know you're all ready to be quick and go and you've got it, let's make it happen. Slow down. There's so much more at work that you can't see. Value this connection, value the network, value the way, the relationships that you're building. Remain curious, but remember, we're slowing it down. And that is just kind of like a little tap, tap, tap. Sometimes there are bumps in the road, sometimes it's a little more intense. Okay. So I have this kind of summary of the moon is to be vulnerable, be in gratitude, and be embodied, right? That embodied energy, that's wisdom, that's lived experience. All right. I'm really trying to keep this short and sweet and digestible. I will have that energy, which will come July 15th to the 21st. It'll be that shift of the moon. In the Soulfully You Facebook group, if you're not there, that's where I give you kind of daily guidance. I'm giving you more direction with what the moon is doing, but also inspiration. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Breathing wise, just find yourself walking. Like if you're listening to movement, really feel into it. If you're outside in conversation, listen to the words, but also breathe into the energy that is happened, that you're sensing and feeling into because of the connection, right? I gave you the movement keys. Your meditation is just to become more aware of the ebb and flow, right? The waxing and the waning, the inhale, the exhale, just this dynamic dance, this pendulum, if you will, this way we spiral and circle and cycle through our lives. Know that I'm here, and that my hope is that this supports you to live more cosmically aligned, so you know you're not alone. And you know you have permission. The invitation is loud and clear right now, is to embrace your whole self, body, mind, spirit, and soul, and to be real, be true, and be soulfully